things, very short. One is that as farmers, we want access to land for us to plow and defeat food insecurity. I think abantu abaningi bamkhohli uKhrisani. He had his 888 program, which was about fighting hunger. Now we're saying today that program must be brought back to life, Comrade Lesufi. We're saying the land, electricity, water, infrastructure, funding and training of small farmers is essential. It's very painful ukuthi in this country fanele ukhuluma isilungu esingale sika queen kodwa you can't put food on your table. Abantwana bethu abafundiswa ukuthi batshale ezikolweni. We must go back to the land. That's the main thing.
That's true. That's true. But the moment he touched the issue of the land, most of the people in that panel became uncomfortable. I noticed that. Why? Because the issue of the land has not yet been dealt with accordingly. And people are not being encouraged to become farmers. We are always told that start your business. But people are not being encouraged to become farmers. Why? Because these leaders know very well that the stumbling block is a land. But whenever you talk about the land, they always have this thing of like, you don't know anything about the land. You cannot do anything about the land. The economy will go down or the economy will drop. I believe that every person or every individual who has a skill, that person has to be empowered. Because sometimes you can be good when it comes to farming, but you are not good when it comes to managing finances, logistics, and maybe human resource and all those things. Maybe you're not good when it comes to that stuff, but you are good when it comes to like running a farm. In other words, you have a business plan, or maybe you have a business idea, or you have a skill set when it comes to farming. So what should the government do? The government has to empower those people where they are lacking, especially when it comes to finance, when it comes to a lot of things, marketing, in other words, having connections, risk management, and all those things, because this is where many black people are lacking. But when it comes to farming, yes, they are good. They are good. But you cannot run a farm without having like a financial management skill. So what should the government do? In other words, they have to train these people. In other words, if someone is fully trained, well trained, in other words, you can invest upon that person. So we should not be fooled that we don't know how to run farms. In other words, if we can start running farms, then everything will go down. We are going to Zimbabwe and so forth and so forth. That's not true. That's just a silly excuse.
Lastly, we want ukuthi imali ihlale kwi township economic development areas, Comrade Lesufi. We want the community banks to be built here. Kube ne Ekurhuleni cooperative bank. One, because asifuni ukuthatha imali zethu siloku sifida niyabazi angeke ngibabize ngamagama. Now, if umuntu oyibhenke one une 12 million people, every month uthola 10 rand, times that by, the math is yours. He's got 120 million per month, times 12. Leyo mali leyo mayihlale la Ekurhuleni si develop. Corporate office funi bank kokheli.
Siyabonga kakhulu baba.
He gave them some lessons. He gave them some lessons. And again, we are always being encouraged to start businesses, but we are also not being encouraged to start a business called a bank? Why we are not being encouraged to start businesses that are related to banking, so that we can have our own community banks or our own local banks that can invest in us? The first reason will be we are corrupt. We cannot manage finances. We are going to steal people's money and so forth and so forth. As I always say, if someone has a skill, if someone has determination, if someone has courage, it doesn't mean you have to invest in that particular person right away. But what you need to do is to make sure that you equip that person where that person is still lacking. That's the most important thing. So these people, they start businesses, or they fund certain people, and whenever those people become unsuccessful, then they come to us and say, you cannot do anything with the land. You cannot start a bank. Why? Because you are corrupt. When in reality, they funded people who were not equipped. Because some of the people are failing not because of corruption, not because they are corrupt, but because they don't know how to manage finances. They don't know how to take a profit. They don't know how to calculate a markup price, or to set up a markup price, and all those things. They don't know anything about all those things. They don't know about the security, risk management, or risk assessment. All those things. They don't know anything. But you have to train those people, because we have many people who have different skill sets that can solve a lot of our problems. The only thing that the government has to do, is to equip those people where they are lacking. And those, in other words, they should not like select politicians as coordinators and so forth. In other words, they have to use serious entrepreneurs or people who are well experienced in a certain sector or in a specific sector to equip those people to the fullest. So this is how this program should run. I like the elder here. He gave them some lessons, and they can see that he's very smart. So what they need to do is to equip him, is to equip all those people who are engaged in agriculture, those people who are engaged in banking, or who wants to start banks and different kinds of businesses, and equip them. Some of these people, they just have to be equipped with knowledge, because some of these people, they can organize their own finances together. In other words, they can make sure that they bring their finances together. Some of these people, they just need knowledge, professional advice. In other words, step-by-step guide. You don't just fund a person and then you leave them just like that. But you have to be there in each and every step they make.